Now we're doing a 40s retro style, kind of a wave to the hair, and my name is Dickey from Hair Rule Salon, and this is Christina, his model here in New York. So on Christina, we're doing a 40s retro wave pattern to her hair that it can be easily achieved with, you're gonna not believe this, but a flat iron. So to start out with, we're gonna put in a nice lightweight mousse to Christina's hair, just to add volume at the root. And with straight hair, it's a completely different set of rules than, say, curly or wavier hair. Because this texture, generally women are, trying to get more volume at the root and get their flat hair full. And so, generally with this texture, you remove about 85 to 95% of the water out of the hair before you do anything. This helps to give a lot of lift at the root and body to the hair. So instead of taking your brush to the hair, while it's wet, you just kind of rough dry. Blonde hair also, if highlighted, high lift blondes generally tangle easily, so that's why going in with a non-sudsing shampoo, like either Daily Cleansing Cream or Win, are some of the few non-sudsing shampoos out there. It's kind of like skincare for your hair. And the benefits to any texture from such a gentle approach to hair care is that you wind up with hair that's easier to handle. And you don't get breakage, and you don't get tangled like you would had you dried the hair out first. As you can see, Christina's hair is almost dry, and we haven't had to take a brush to it yet. We're still building volume. Remember, we're going to add wave and volume to the hair, so we don't need to do too much pulling or adding tension to flatten out the hair. So really, as you can see, the hair texture is nice, it's shiny, it's straight, so you don't have to go in and use a lot of tension or heat to straighten hair that's already straight. You really want to be mindful with the type of heat you put in hair that's been highlighted, or this bleach blondes, as to not get any damage to the hair. Okay. Now we've got perfectly dry, straight hair ready for your iron. It's detangled, and we didn't do any kind of over drying of the hair, so the hair will still have a lot of body into it when we go in and put our waves in. Just as another kind of bodybuilding product I like to use as a lightweight dry hairspray. Dry hairsprays actually work better with heat, and they don't get sticky or help allow the hair not to get stuck to the iron. And it's not a product that also flattens out the hair, so it's great for prepping the hair prior to styling or using heat work. We're going to start off our waves by, depending on the thickness of your hair, you'll want to take a smaller section if you have thicker hair, and you can take a larger section if you have finer hair. So with Christina, she's got a kind of a medium grade hair type that's it's not too fine, it's not too thick, she's got the perfect hair texture. And so we want our sections to be about 1 inch wide, and we're just simply going to wrap the hair around your finger, take your flat iron, what this does, we'll give it a nice crimped waving pattern that is simple to do. Hold it usually around 30 seconds. And as you can see, you've got a lot of texture to the hair. Clip, go into your next section. hold that between 15 to 30 seconds. So the great thing about doing, getting these waves with a flat iron is that if you're kind of dexterity challenged with a curling iron, a lot of times our curling iron can kind of get complicated as to how you hold it. And what's great about a flat iron is that it's literally just two tongs. So it's much simpler for the person doing their own hair to get great results. Basically just work around the head. Yeah, these styles are really great because they actually wear better after the next day because the hair has more texture to it, so you can get a couple of days, 2 or 3 days out of this. Then you can even move into maybe putting your hair half up and half down, getting additional days out of it. And it doesn't matter which direction you do your pin curls, any direction, it'll just hang. You want a more kind of unstructured wave pattern because it's a little more modern than having something too structured. Hot tools have gotten really great over the last few years. A lot of the store-bought ones you get in the drugstore work just fine. You want to make sure that you get a flat iron that has a dial on it and has a temperature range, usually from about 210 to about 375 at the most is all you need. And this is also a great way to be able to set your hair at night. So it's not something you have to feel like you need to do in the morning. It's something that's, particularly if your hair is only 90% dry and you've got a lot of moisture in it, just lightly setting it with some heat and with these pin curls and a flat iron at night will have a great set in the morning. Doing your hair at night also requires you not to have to put so much heat on your hair, because a lot of times you're just reactivating either the hairspray or really taking advantage of how much moisture has been left in the hair. So then at night, all you need to do is probably sleep with a scarf on or a bonnet. Bonnets aren't so sexy, so stay with the scarf. So in the morning, you just take your clips out. Another thing you can use if you're going to sleep in the morning is, a lot of times these clips your clips can be too uncomfortable to sleep with, so using a large bobby pin will make it much more comfortable to sleep. And then in the morning, you simply take your bobby pins out and gently brush your hair, putting a little bit of finishing cream in the hair to add more moisture and definition to your set. This steam coming off of the hair, that's always a good indicator that you're not doing any damage to the hair. Okay, so I'm on my last section, and this literally took under 30 minutes, but you also don't have to take as many sections as I take. You can simply take 4 sections in the front, a couple sections in the back, and maybe 3 or 4 sections on top. So I'm going to take my clips out. And the great thing about not pre-drying the hair or using a lot of heat on it to make it smoother than it needs to be is that you end up with a lot of texture to the hair. Generally, like I said, women with straighter, finer hair are looking for more texture in their hair. They're not looking for frizzy hair, they're just looking for their hair to have more texture to it. And there's a couple of ways you can go about styling this wave pattern. You could simply let it fall out on its own. I like giving hair the opportunity to evolve on its own, so I don't like doing a lot to it. Or you could simply brush it out. But if you can see, you've got a really great wave pattern to hair that was straight. So now what I'm going to do is take Hair Rules Finishing Cream. It's to be used on dry hair for flyaways, add more moisture to the hair. And simply just finger comb the wave pattern. So now I'm going to brush Christina out, just to get more volume to her hair. You can start from the underneath because you don't want to flatten out the hair, so it's best to lift up sections. So a lot of times it appears as though when you brush out your set that you're going to lose the set because the brush kind of straightens out the hair, but have no fear, your curl or wave pattern will always come back in. So don't be afraid to overbrush your style. And as you can see, Christina has a lot more body and it's not so structured, so it's a little more modern, and she can wear this kind of every day. So this is our final look. I'm Dickey, this is Christina, our 40s retro style. And for more of these kind of tips and products, you can always go to naturallycurly.com, and it's a wealth of information that you can find to learn about your hair texture.